Alrighty guys, another day, another Dragon Age video, and I guess I'll be making more of these because y'all seem to like it a lot, which I don't mind. But first, I want to talk about my debut novel, Gods and Goddesses, Children of Ragnarøkkr. Now, this book just came out like a few months back, and this is a mature dark fantasy, and it does contain several not safe for work illustrations. So again, it's not for kids, and it focuses on the godlings, or again the children of Ragnarøkkr, as they grew up throughout the book to become full-fledged deities that protect the world from a wraith blood that lurks in the darkest corners. Now, if you want to buy it on paperback, it's going to be $16. If you want to get on Kindle Unlimited, it's free, basically. Or you want to buy it on Kindle, it's going to be $9.99. It's 596 pages long, and there is a sample spanning from the prologue to the second chapter, I believe. So if you guys would be kind to check that out, you get my eternal thanks. Now, I also want to bring attention about this too, because this is over on my Twitter, or X, whichever you want to call it, and it's also a dark fantasy. But I posted the safer work version because reasons. And this is Nightfall Eldritch, my first comic, and this is the first chapter. My boy Nefarious Watcher is the artist, and of course I'm the writer and creator of it. And this comic updates every week, specifically on Sunday, and it just follows about two entities that have been at war with each other for centuries. But after this little fight, things change. So I'm not gonna spoil that for y'all, but there is some previews I would definitely show you guys. Again, you can find this over on my Twitter or X, wherever they want to call it. I still call it Twitter. And here we go. The last pages of, well, the 3 pages from last week, 7, 8, and 9. So definitely not bad. I would definitely have those. I would definitely have the book and the comic book link down below in the description if y'all want to check it out. Again, that's it right there. And now onto the main stuff. So, boy oh boy, where do I go with this one? Because I got some things I want to show you guys about this, and I don't know what the heck's going on. Okay, I done a little bit of my research, just a little bit, but again, I just wanted to go through this with a fresh pair of eyes to, be authentic, be genuine, and just to be more engaging with y'all. And I came across this possibly yesterday, maybe, I can't remember. I've been doing a lot of things lately, but I came across this post by Stuttering Craig. Never heard the guy, but thanks, Stuttering Craig. And this little excerpt is oh I'm not sure what to say. Let me make sure I got my audio for y'all, because it's gonna be cringe. It's definitely gonna be cringe. All right. Nothing says modern day like stopping down for 2 minutes. Oh gosh, this could be 2 minutes long. 2 minutes in a fantasy game to get lectured on pronouns and misgendering. Oh no. Okay. Alrighty, let's listen to it.
Pounding that snake's nose. She's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
what are you doing?
Pulling a barv.
Oh, okay. A barv?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crew's not good for morale, but there's not always time for big, drawn-out apologies. So when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a barv. Oh, there we go.
I'm glad the Lords of Fortune have Tarsh's back.
Oh, Tarsh isn't the first non-binary member of the Lords.
Really?
It was a little before your time, but Horlicks was one of ours.
Huh.
Bastard looked better than I did in a dress or pants. And out of them, too.
Any reason you can't just apologize?
Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole thing over with. Trust me, I know. But pulling a barf, you sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make it about them. Oh, you know, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
Oh, okay. Yes, some people might do that.
Pulling a barf puts it on the person.
I can't. Oh, that is terrible, dude. Oh my gosh, I can't. Get this off my screen. Get this off my laptop, please. Okay, so sorry I tortured you guys with that. Yikes. What dude, what is going on? So I decided to also get this little damn man, these people always trying to advertise stuff to you. I also got something from the PC Gamer article. And I'll just go on with reading this. With the Veilguard, Dragon Age has forgotten its dark fantasy roots and become Bioware's Avengers. That's what it looks like. Yep. Oh, it's published 3 days ago. Man. See. Okay. Give me a moment, y'all. Oh, light spoilers inbound. Like, I care about that. When BioWare started working on Dragon Age Veilguard, the world was in love with Marvel. I mean, I wasn't, to be honest. We wanted more Avengers, more Bants, more Nick Fury recruiting superpower heroes. This must have felt serendipitous to a studio which had, for years, been designing RPGs where players put together a wisecracking, good-looking squad to stop the world and sometimes galaxy from imploding. Mass Effect 2 did that. I mean, not just Mass Effect 2, but the trilogy did that. So, you know, we didn't really need that, to be honest. Dragon Age: The Veilguard is BioWare's Avengers, fully leaning into the idea of a heroic team of powerhouses protecting everyone from the worst of the worst between bouts of exposition and lots of banter, of course. Dude, Mass Effect Trilogy already did that. There was no point in trying to... But unfortunately, it's now 2024. The Marvel formula has become exhausting, and BioWare's latest RPG, which I'm now around 3/4 of the way through, feels both perfunctory. I'm sorry, y'all. I've never seen that word before. And behind the curve. Maybe we would have ended up here even without Marvel's huge influence on modern entertainment. Possibly. While the series began as an exceptionally grim fantasy adventure in grounded medieval world, Dragon Age has never been comfortable sitting still. Dragon Age 2 preserved much of the tone despite the switch to smaller stakes and a more focused setting, but Inquisition then put you in charge of a high fantasy version of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a game full of absurd stakes and magic spectacle. Exactly. Yep. And that game was not supposed to succeed, but it did. And, you know, it just... It was a good game. I won't lie, it was a good game, but still, jeez, man, these ads, bro. Can I like get? Thank you. But it also still felt like a Dragon Age game, a different style of Dragon Age game, sure, but one that still featured nuanced characters who push and question you, set in a world that, for all its vibrant colors and flashy magic, still felt tragic and sorrowful. It served as an interesting counterpart to Origins, where you played a hero or anti-hero trying to thwart a tyrant. As an Inquisitor, there was always the sense that you might become the tyrant yourself. In Veilguard, however, Dragon Age's legacy is nearly invisible. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. The Veilguard sheds more of the series' nuance and darkness, fully committing to bloodless broad high fantasy with a Marvel veneer, less this, and more Asgard. It even got the gaudy Marvel color palette where everything glows and sears your retinas. It's all just so over the top, constantly trying to show off and elbow you, forcing you to look at one I don't know how to pronounce that word, y'all. Ostentatious set piece after another. This perseveres even when the Veilguard importantly attempts to showcase some horror. When you explore a blight-infested village in the early section, the pulsating neon red cysts and gratuitous use of tentacles is so cartoonish that it's impossible to feel the revulsion. I'm sorry, y'all. The revulsion that the story wants you to experience. The blight is ultimately left to just become a momentary obstacle, blocking paths until you destroy a bunch of connected nodes. It's just a mechanical nuisance that rears its head countless times throughout the game. Oh, wow, what a great way to show the blight. Good job. The Veilguard even takes Marvel sci-fi tinged approach to fantasy. Valeria, your elven archer, swans around with a massive golden gauntlet that splices magic and tech, is a talented engineer, and is part of a mostly elvish organization which studies and perseveres. Cannot speak today, y'all. Preserves ancient arcane technology. Even their name, the Veil Jumpers, feels like, okay, that sounds pretty cool though. Veil Jumpers. That sounds kind of cool. Feels like something drawn from a sci-fi comic. Where previous games presented the elves as a race brought down by human colonialism, pushed to the fringes and constantly struggling with racism, oh, there it goes, and ostracization. The Veilguard's elves are primarily represented by an organization of fancy magical scientists. Magic broadly has a very different tone this time around. Some of this is down to the switch from Southern Thedas to Tevinter and the surroundings areas where mages have a lot more influence and aren't kept on a tight leash as they are in Faerûn. But the loss of tension between mages and Templars is felt keenly, and the Veilguard doesn't give us anything to fill the gap. Instead, mages are just, like so much in this game, generically cool. Oh, okay. Narratively, there's not much to them. They're just another class, and most of the time, the only distinction between a mage and a warrior is how they handle in combat. Where the former fights like an amalgamation of Iron Man and Doctor Strange, with staffs that might as well be laser cannons and big glowing shields that surround their bodies like a force field. Whenever they pull off some spells, it turns the battlefield into a rave. There's just nothing here that feels connected to the grounded world BioWare originally built. One of the first things you see when you start the game is a flying Tevinter citadel. You have to participate in a jailbreak where the prison is under the sea. Your HQ sits on a floating island inside the Veil, and you're literally fighting a pair of gods. Something everyone largely takes in their stride. There's nothing inherently wrong with this. Lots of the Veilguard's elements also exist in Baldur's Gate 3, the best RPG around, which I prefer. I highly recommend y'all to play that. I never beat it, but there's a lot of stuff to do in that game. But here it leaves me feeling so detached from the world, and there's not much actually beneath the spectacle. It's just vapidly showy. Let's use the underwater prison as an example since it features in both games. Once you arrive in BG3's Iron Throne via submersible, you realize you've already been discovered by one of your main adversaries. Now you have to rescue the prisoners before the trap is sprung, drowning you all. It's a timed jailbreak where the underwater location is actually important, and it even informs the kind of foes you encounter. The Veilguard, on the other hand, the underwater concept is largely ignored beyond the initial surprise. Once that wears off, you will just fight your way through the ruin that looks like any other, defeating the same enemies you will have already encountered, only to find the guy you're trying to rescue is already free. There's nothing really to it, just a cool idea that goes nowhere. This is early on. This is what the beginning, literally the beginning of the game, and it's filler. That's crazy. It's team building. Here we go. This could be a lengthy video, y'all. Hopefully y'all like it. And then there's your companions, not a found family full of weirdos, but rather a group of highly skilled individuals recruited for a specific purpose. The very first quest you embark upon sees you recruiting Nave, whose status as a crime-fighting detective places her more in the Justice League pantheon than the Avengers. Following the prologue, you start being handed more quests to build your team: the brilliant engineer, the possessed assassin, the stoic the stoic Grey Warden, each of them with a connection to one of the main factions. This isn't the first time BioWare has given us the role of Marvel's eye patch wearing super spy. Both Mass Effect and Inquisition tasked you with recruiting operatives with special skills, but it's perfunctory and mechanical this time around. You're not a military officer or the commander of a crusading order. You're just some rando that Varric picked up a year ago. This might be the most efficient way of putting together a team, just pointing you in the direction where you offer someone a job. But it's so rushed, just like the relationships themselves. It feels like you've been handed a script and must now pretend to be BFFs with these people you just met. That's not good. Each companion can be effectively described with a couple of keywords. Okay, maybe I'm being unfair here. I could say the same about a lot of BioWare companions. Liara, the naive scientist. Isabella, the horny pirate. Morrigan, the abrasive witch. But the problem with the Veilguard is that the keywords are both the start and end of most of these characters. Like so much of the game's cast, from its villainous gods to its staid faction representatives, the companions rarely deviate from their broad archetype. Oh man, so they don't grow. Okay. Emmerich plays against type as a warm, kindly necromancer, and Tasha's struggle with gender identity is a novel story for a fantasy RPG, but aside from a couple of standout moments, the crew feels like a bunch of made-to-order companions. They're designed for a specific purpose, to help you save the day and occasionally solve some environmental puzzles with their unique abilities. Where are my chaos goblins and my arseholes and my left-field picks? My Sierras and Morgans and Shaos? Where's my friction? There just isn't any. Going back to the Avengers, Marvel had to make it completely clear who all these characters were as quickly as possible, because it had about 2 hours to give you get you to give a crap about this ensemble cast. They had to be broad and make their intentions and motivations clear from the get-go. Not very subtle, but at least understandable. It's a bit more jarring in an RPG that will make you at least 40 hours to complete. Take you at least 40 hours to complete. The Veilguard's cast largely just tells you their whole deal from the outset. Lucian's is literally an abomination, something that you might expect him to want to keep secret from his new friends, but you discover his nature before he utters a single word. What? Okay, that's. I mean, you could play it smart still, but that's the problem. They're not playing it smart. It's like this guy says they're rushing things, and it's 40 hours. Why are they rushing? Anyway, he's an open book, and while his nature causes a wee bit of tension, it's mostly short-lived and extremely polite. Valera, meanwhile, spends maybe 10 seconds pretending that her backstory is too sad to talk about before giving an entire monologue about her tragic past, why she does what she does, and what's motivating her to help you on your quest. Okay. And don't get me started on the romance dialogue. Oh man, that's going to be atrocious, isn't it? If you choose to do some very light flirting with a character once or twice, the game tries to fast track you into a relationship complete with all the cliche. Oh no, dude. You're kidding me. In a single hour, I had not one but two stammering, bashful romantic encounters that turned the game into an, I don't know how to pronounce that, but antediluvian rom-com. You know the ones. The is a date. No, I mean not a date variety. There are some solid romantic encounters eventually, but you have to trudge through a lot of rubbish to see them. The Veilguard tries to create funny, silly, awkward, and sincere conversations, the kind you'd have with your pals or potential partners, but it just spits them out so rapidly and with so many cliches that I started to dread my post-adventuring downtime, where I need to go from room to room having uninspired chats with some very nice but very boring people. That's ultimately the Veilguard's biggest stumbling block when it comes to the companions. They are simply good people, thoughtful, open-minded, friendly, great for a group of mates, not so great for a story-driven RPG. Mm-mm-mm. In Origins, you had Alistair and Morrigan constantly winding each other up. In Inquisition, you had Solus lecturing you and being disappointed that it wasn't sinking in. And in BG3, you literally have companions trying to murder each other. Conflict adds texture to an adventuring party. Heck, even the Avengers end up fighting each other in Civil War. But the Veilguard gives you friendly automatons with very little agency, which makes any relationship you build with them feel hollow. Yep. Okay. I'm not really feeling very connected to my version of Rook either. Though maybe my version is the wrong phrase. BioWare has stuck with the system introduced in Dragon Age 2, where your responses are all clearly connected to a specific personality, style, or emotion. Snarky, aggressive, positive, upset, that sort of thing. Despite being a bit limited, the system has worked well. The system has worked well in the past, but this time it seems impossible to develop a character who isn't just a very brave, very generic hero. Maybe yours will be slightly gruffier, a bit more sarcastic, but not that much. No matter what options you pick, it's going to sound broadly like something a hero would say. Actually, impactful choices, meanwhile, are few and far between, offering no real opportunities to take Rook in a different direction. You might as well be Captain America. uh, Inquisition was already going in this direction. You're always being nudged towards towards heroism, but the Veilguard completely ties your hands for most of the game, and the lack of proper role playing is so much more noticeable due to the other RPGs that have appeared in the interim. Pillars of Eternity, Tyranny, Pathfinder, Rogue Trader, Disco Elysium, Divinity, Original Sin, Baldur's Gate 3, The Witcher 3, 2077, they've all felt like progress, leaving Dragon Age behind. Wow. Pillars, Pathfinder, and Rogue Trader all build on the legacy of the Infinity Engine games of BioWare's past, but they bump up the flexibility of character development potential considerably. Tyranny and Disco are more cerebral, experimenting with how RPGs handle the complexities of ethics and philosophy, ultimately letting players make choices that eschew genre's conventions. Divinity and Baldur's Gate 3 Baldur's Gate smash sandboxes and CRPGs together, giving us RPGs that boast the unparalleled permissiveness of their tabletop counterparts. The Witcher and Cyberpunk also raised the bar for quest design and storytelling, showing us that expensive and flashy blockbuster RPGs can still be smart and evocative. What does the Veilguard do? It is a polished and competent BioWare action RPG that follows a safe, conventional pattern. The old BioWare magic has been codified and sanitized, and now feels dated even more so than BioWare's actually pretty old RPGs. It is as broad, predictable, and inoffensive as a crowd-pleasing Marvel movie, all flashy, clean, and easy to digest. So it has the power to be entertaining, but never in a way that will stick with you. There are no big swings, no risks, no shocks, and while I have enjoyed some of it, most of my fourth trip across Thedas, I've been left pretty bored. Oh wow, that was a mouthful to read, man. Fraser Brown, that was our critic right there for that, and honestly, that was a good review. And there's still more because I kind of just want to show things about uh, what I've encountered. Man, oh man, wow. So following that, I also have this article. If I could pull it up, here we go. So we got this article from Bounding into Comics. I hate how they set up their website. Like, this is so weird. Following poor perception of Dragon Age: The Veilguard, BioWare EP attempts to assure fans that the next Mass Effect will maintain the mature tone of the original trilogy. And maybe I talked about this a little bit, like I touched on it, but I think that was on Twitter, and that was just me uh, doing a retweet, but I didn't really like read the actual article. I probably just put a quote to it and just said, nah, I'm not, no thanks, bro, or something like that. And what can only be read as an attempt to assure fans of the sci-fi franchise that its next entry will not fall into the same trappings of Dragon Age: The Veilguard, BioWare project director Michael Gamble has assured fans that the upcoming Mass Effect sequel will decidedly not play fast and loose with its overall identity. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. Especially why are we going back to the original cast? You cowards. Expand upon Andromeda. Actually correct the mistakes that Andromeda made. Why don't you do that? Why are you so afraid to actually innovate? It just seems like y'all are just holding up the keys and jingling like, oh look, here it is. The next new product, be excited. That's what it seems like to me. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like to me. Gambo, who prior to being put in charge of the next Mass Effect served as a producer on every series entry since 2, including the disastrous Andromeda, offered the reassurance on October 28th via his personal Twitter account. Oh, here we go. Shut up. Gosh, I hate when these pop-up ads come up, man. Attempting to calm fan fears that the aforementioned Veilguard, which has drawn widespread ire among fans of all stripes for a multitude of issues, including a drastically reduced dialogue system, mobile game tier graphics, and ham-fisted injection of real-world social political discourse, was representative of BioWare's overall future as a studio. Gamble clarified to the concerned that while they may made share, it's got some typos in here, that while they may share a parent company, the Dragon Age and Mass Effect teams held very different creative intents. Lots of people asking me about Mass Effect now that Veilguard reviews are out and October 31st is close, which when this video comes out, it's already been out for a day. Wrote the producer. Both are from the studio, but Mass Effect is Mass Effect. How you bring a sci-fi RPG to life is different than other genres or IPs, and has to have different kinds of love. Yeah, I guess. So that's his Twitter post right there. Finding his initial post met with a plea of, please don't Pixar Mass Effect like you guys did with Dragon Age from a fan, a direct reference to Veilguard's new, more cartoony art style. And that's what I hate, man. I hate that cartoon style in just media overall. I get that, like, there's some entertainment can do that because it makes sense to go that style. But when I'm seeing this Fortnite-esque, this Steven Universe-esque type of like animation or graphics or whatever, dude, I'm just like, man, this is supposed to be rated M for mature, for an adult audience, and then we're getting this again, this cartoonish style that doesn't fit, especially when it's from an already established IP that's known to be dark and gritty because it's dark fantasy. It don't make sense, dude. Like, I don't mind it being a little flashy here. It has to have beauty, but when it's doing that modern trope of like, I don't know, aesthetics, it gets real boring real quick. And I'm tired of it. I'm absolutely tired of the flashiness of all, and I mean, like, the overall, the overused flashiness of bright colors and that. And I'm not saying like we need to go back to like the Resident Evil 4 scheme that's like everything's brown or has a brown filter or anything. But dang, man, at least like balance it or something. Trying to, playing in a dark room and you're being literally blinded by the TV screen because of how much is going on in literally one area of the game. I'm sorry, I'm gone to a tangent there. Where was I at? Oh yeah. Gamble explained in turn, I'm not sure I agree with the Pixar thing, but Mass Effect is photorealistic and will be as long as I'm running it. Well, I guess. Still, that doesn't give me confidence. Again, why are we going back to the original cast when it basically their time, is they're done, offering one further, albeit brief, comment on the matter, Gamble ultimately asserted, regarding tone questions, Mass Effect will maintain the mature tone of the original trilogy. This is all I'm going to say for now. Yeah, sure. Sure. First announced as part of the 2020 N7 Days celebrations held on November 7th, and named after the highest rank an individual can obtain in the franchise's fictional interplanetary combatives training program. N7 Days usually celebrated by BioWare with the announcement of Mass Effect related news. Very, very little is known about the next Mass Effect entries outside of existence. While BioWare has kept the veil down on the game in order to guard its secrets, what is known is that the game will be developed on the Unreal Engine, worked on by a number of, as of yet publicly unnamed, returning devs from the original trilogy. That won't mean anything. Including lead cinematics animator Parrish Lay, and will serve as a direct sequel to Commander Shepard's previous adventure. Whatever. So we got that there. Outside of this bare bones amount of information, what BioWare's return to space will entail remains anyone's guess. And while fans may be hoping that Gamble and his team will deliver on their promises, the mere fact that Veilguard comes from the studio suggests that they may do their best to keep their Mass Effect expectations tempered and money firmly in hand until the game finally releases. Then we got the Veilguard trash being shown to us. Oh, I mean Tash. Sorry. To the last point, as of writing, the next Mass Effect game has yet to receive an official release date. I don't care. And what's this article? Dragon Age franchise creator David Gator dismisses critics who fear the Veilguard will be awoke as effing tourists. Says they wander around looking to fixate on problems that don't exist. Okay, whatever. I gotta. There's my next video, I guess. If y'all want me to do that. Wow. that's the problem right there too. That's besides the cartoon style that they use and trying to subvert the dark fantasy genre of Dragon Age. You got people like this David Gator, uh, just basically attacking potential fans or fans in general, and just saying, "Oh, they're just wandering around to look for problems that don't exist." Well, we literally just played a video, almost a 2 minute video of the pronouns thing, and basically this character punishing themselves because they got the pronouns wrong. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. All right. So that's it for there. I didn't mean to get into a bit of Mass Effect with y'all. That again, this is fresh eyes. This is a fresh eye reading this to y'all. So I didn't expect Mass Effect to come up, but I mean, it's from the same. It's gonna be from the same developers basically, and why? Again, we should be as concerned with Mass Effect because look how they did Dragon Age. I mean, my gosh, like some people need to read the room, man. I kind of wanted to show this. This is from Steam, and this is the customer reviews of Dragon Age. And it's not, please don't harass anyone for giving their reviews. But I'm showing this because I found this kind of interesting. The reviews are mostly positive. Now I know this game just came out, but they got people that put 11.5 hours into it, but they're saying like it seems fine so far. Combat's much more inventive. The writing is painful, actually painful, and I will say this. I will definitely say this. What the game fails at, they probably more than likely make up with the combat, the gameplay really. And yeah, the graphics suck. The writing sucks, but the gameplay is top notch. That's okay, but it doesn't justify the existence of stuff being within the game. You're buying the game. People are buying the game because of the story. They're not buying it just because of the gameplay. They're buying it because of the story. And it just seems like I'm not sure what's going on with the mostly positive reviews on Steam, but there is an ounce of truth somewhere within those reviews, and maybe there it's not as bad as we think, but I highly doubt it. And I don't agree with things being like that being put into games or media or entertainment, man. It might have one little thing. It can have one little, as I say, woke thing like sentence in there or little scene, and it could be the rest could be good, could be fine. For example, if I remember correctly, Dead Space remake, it kind of had like a little controversy with like the gender bathrooms or whatever. Yeah, the game is good, but it's stuff like that. It's like the little things right there. It incentivizes these developers to put more of that crap into the sequels. For example, look at Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man had the whole. I truly don't remember the pride flags being in there. I truly don't remember that. Maybe I just was having too much fun swinging around as being Spider-Man, but they were, I guess, supposedly in there from the start. And since that was in there, they went from that to Spider-Man 2, where they're just creating characters just because they need to fill in diversity quotas. And of course, they also had the the feminist MJ in 2018, but I will say she looked a lot better than feminist MJ in when did that game come out? 2023. Uh, Again, this is why I make videos about this stuff. It's the point of it, and that's not me trying to, be a rage baiter or grifter that people like to say. I know that's like the most trendy word now for this type of stuff, but it's I'm not trying to say like it needs to be censored or anything, but it's there to I'm doing this to bring attention to it, at least for to help bring eyes onto this stuff instead of people just blindly purchasing a product, regard be it a game, a movie, or whatever, with their hard-earned money. Now, I'm not telling them, they don't they shouldn't be buying this, but they're adults. You guys are adults. You can make informed decisions on your own. But sometimes, it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion about things, a third opinion or whatever. And that's what I'm trying to do, really. I think that would be it for this video, y'all. Sorry it's nearly an hour long. And I really been seeing that you guys like the Dragon Age videos lately. And I thank y'all so much for sticking around this long and dealing with my stuttering and all that. Please give the video a like, a dislike, share it, subscribe, comment down below, whatever you want to do, seriously. And if I miss some things, let me know. That's it for this video, and I'll catch y'all later. Ciao.